This single thread is thinner than one strand of your hair. Yet for 2,000 years, people would lie, smuggle, and even risk their lives to possess it. It begins inside a cocoon spun by a caterpillar no bigger than your pinky finger, in a quiet mulberry grove in ancient China. More than 4,000 years ago, Chinese farmers discovered that this caterpillar's cocoon held something remarkable. A single, unbroken thread that could stretch for nearly 1,000 meters. Each worm ate almost nothing but mulberry leaves, growing fatter for about a month before it was ready to spin its cocoon. Then, over 3 or 4 days, it spun that cocoon by moving its head in tiny figure eights, layering thread thinner than spider silk around itself, again and again. To get the silk out in one piece, workers had to act fast, boiling the cocoons before the moth inside could chew its way out and snap the thread. A skilled worker would find the loose end of the thread and begin reeling it off, often combining filaments from 5 or 6 cocoons into one strand strong enough to weave. It took roughly 2,000 cocoons just to make one silk robe, and the weaving itself could take weeks on a loom worked entirely by hand. For centuries, only China knew how silk was made, and the emperor guarded that secret as fiercely as a treasure vault. Smuggling silkworm eggs or mulberry seeds out of the country was treated as a serious crime. China's entire economy depended on staying the only source of this fabric on Earth. But silk itself was allowed to leave, carried west along a network of trade routes stretching over 6,000 kilometers, what we now call the Silk Road. Merchants crossed scorching deserts and freezing mountain passes, trading silk hand to hand through dozens of cities before it ever reached its final buyer. A bolt of silk might change hands a dozen times, traded for spices in Persia, gold in Byzantium, sold and resold until almost no one could trace where it began. By the time it reached Rome, silk was so expensive that some senators tried to ban it, worried the empire's gold was draining away just to pay for it. Emperor Justinian of Byzantium grew tired of paying China's price, and of depending on traders thousands of miles away he could not control. Around the year 552, the story goes that Justinian sent 2 monks east with a daring plan: smuggle silkworm eggs out of China hidden inside their hollow bamboo walking canes. Mulberry leaves could be found almost anywhere, but living silkworm eggs were the real secret. And somehow, those 2 canes made it all the way back to Constantinople. For the first time, silk could be made outside of China, and a secret guarded for thousands of years finally began to spread. Silk farms slowly appeared across the Byzantine Empire and beyond, though Chinese silk stayed famous for its quality for centuries more. Whether it travelled the full Silk Road or was woven closer to home, every piece of silk still carried the same beginning: a caterpillar, a mulberry leaf, and a single, unbroken thread. When someone finally pulled that finished silk over their shoulders, they were wearing the end of a journey that may have taken months and crossed a continent. Somewhere right now, a thread that started this same way might be travelling towards someone who has no idea how far it's already come. Silk is just one of countless ordinary things with an extraordinary journey behind it, and there are many more still waiting to be told.